All right, one-on-ones. Okay, now, a lot of times what we'll do is we'll go right down the line and one-on-ones to maximize the reps. Sometimes what we'll do is make the entire line set, and then I'll call out one guy. In this case, I'm going to allow these guys just go right down the line one-on-one. Working some 9 technique rush here, which is good for us. We get down 3rd down and 25. We want to get that wide rush. Now versus a tight end, the set might be a little bit different. This guy's getting what we call a jump set now. Get his jump set. We're going to grab the deep shoulder on a jump set or make the inside move. In this case, he grabs the deep shoulder, gets that guy out of phase. Now I don't like the way he exposed his chest like that. Probably could have kicked his right leg back a little bit further. All right, but understand that once that guy jumps like that, his feet are dead. So if you continuously move your feet and run that circle, you got a great shot at making a play. Now we go with the inside guy. We teach what we call a counter spin. Okay? This is a la the Dwight Freeney here. He's posting on him, selling him, giving the head and shoulders fake, makes him freeze that inside leg. Once he freezes that inside leg right there, we got a shot. Freeze the inside leg, bang. Now we call that the dead leg. Okay, now go from the dead leg to his outside leg. Only thing he can do to complement that is run on your hip. He doesn't have a shot. If he doesn't move his feet and he posts that leg, we got a shot right there. Really good move by him. Okay, going twist game here. Okay, now we talk twist game. We simplify it, our twist game, all right, by giving these guys certain techniques and rules. Okay, the outside guy always has the same rule. We're going to set this guy up by taking it 2 steps up the field. Okay, we're going to be 2 steps up the field. Whether or not the inside guy is the penetrator or whether the guy is the looper, will be two steps up the field by the outside guy. The inside guy can either engage. In this case, in this type of twist here, he can either engage or he can do what we call a stutter on the guard just to freeze him. Now, the other thing, the variances we'll do here is we'll call quick, which tells the end to go inside immediately right now, or we'll tell them by base inherently it's called delay. That is an inherent thing that we do that we did to delay. What we can do as a complement to it is call it quick. As they start jump setting you and doing those type of things, got to have some variance in your twist game there. So right now that guy executes it quick. Okay, now for intents and purposes of this, not to get too complicated, but that's a man protection right there. So this is a really good stunt to a man protection. If they were sliding here, meaning that the center and the guard and the tackle were all in phase and working as a team, it probably wouldn't be as good as a stunt. Same thing, now we work the 2 inside guys. Okay, this is real good here. Okay, now, get the slide going to the 3, you get the 3 technique here being the penetrator, all right? He should probably sell that up the field a little bit more. He's going to be the penetrator. Well, he's going to get into the hip of that guy right there, and he's going to cross the face of the quarterback and get into the other side of the cage. When we define the cage, we define that cage by numbers. Okay, so if the quarterback was, say, for instance, number 11, we want to be on the opposite shoulder of that quarterback, or opposite inside number of that quarterback, which will put us in the right proper cage, and then the looper will come to the opposite number, okay? This is just our tackle twist right here. Come around late, good job. And this is really good because, watch here, to the 1 technique, you're getting a slide with the center and the guard. You get a man scheme with the guard over here on your 3 technique. You tell that nose guard to take that slide, go with the slide, okay? And as the penetrator comes in and he picks the hip of that center, they can't pass that deal off. I'm getting the old line coach all pissed off there. Now we're going back to some one-on-ones. As a base rule, we tell that 3 technique, you want to beat that guy to a 1.5 yard setup point. But offensive lineman like 75 here is executing what we call a jump set. No different than in the other clip when I showed the tight end doing it when he was jump setting the 7 technique. Okay? or excuse me, the 9 technique if he's outside the tight end. What we're going to do here is we're going to get to the deep shoulder, get our hips skinny, got to flip our hips, and rush back to quarterback set point. Now he goes here. Again, a jump set. The other complement to the jump set is making an inside move. That guy jumps him, inside moves. Now watch him flip his hips, because flipping the hips gets you skinny. Right there, watch him flip his hip. I don't like that back arm getting as high as that right there, because he really doesn't need it. Really wasting motion. Flip your hips right there, get skinny at the point of attack, rush to the inside number. Same thing. Jump set. Now jump set the 1 technique. Now obviously you got to make sure that if you're allowing the 1 technique to cross face, that the 3 technique is responsible for the other gap. But if they're going to jump set us here in these one-on-ones, now I'm going to allow them to do that occasionally. He can't limp after the play. Okay, now get a jump set by a tackle. 44 is trying to rush to a setup point. Okay, I like all the head shake right there. Okay, I like the head shake. I always like hand violence. Get the hands violence. They can be tighter to his elbow. All right, but what he's going to do is he's going to just push this guy by. That tackle's going to cut his angle off. See as he tries to cut that angle off there? Now we come back inside. Swipe him by. Now, as he goes inside, watch him get up to the quarterback set point. Right there, and then get to the upfield shoulder. We got to do these things. Because if a good tackle gets his hands on you, okay, he'll crush you and wash you down. We're going to not allow that to happen. Good counter spin here. Sell it with the chop. Now watch him execute that pick. See, that pick right there is going to get on that backside hand. Bang, don't allow him to get to your hip. He could get a little bit lower. I equated to boxing out in basketball. He should be a little bit lower when he does this. But we want to box him out. We're always going to get that 3 technique, the 2-way go. Tell him nose, you got to cover him up. Now sometimes you just got to play big boy football. Now watch this. We talk about the dead leg. Watch the inside leg. Watch him post it. He goes to post that thing, it becomes dead. He's going to put his weight adjust and hop on his outside foot. He's going to keep one leg dead. So what we do is we attack that inside number and walk him back. And then crush him just like that. I like that right there. It's kind of nice. Just get that ball out of the way. They get more athletic GA. Now, good job on the counter spin here. Again, he better get back up the field. Now, I'm going to give my guys this option. You know, a lot of guys talk about letting them get to the quarterback. Well, I'm going to give them a little freelancer now to get to the quarterback. And this is where you practice it. You got to practice these moves one-on-ones. This is not ideally where I want him to counter spin, but he's getting jump set here. The counter spin should happen normally at about 5 yards of depth. From a base perspective, that offensive tackle is about 4.5 yards of depth. He goes to 4.5 yards of depth. We take what we call a natural rush. We beat him to natural rush set point. If he goes beyond that 4.5 yards, if it ever becomes 5 yards, then he can make an inside move. But you got to give him the ability, if you get jump set, to come inside. He just got to make sure that he's up on that upfield shoulder at the end of the day. Now, inside guy, fight pressure with pressure. Okay, he jumps you off the jump here, butts you. Watch this guy. This guy does a great job here. He butts, then he extends his hands or extends his arms. Okay, now watch him lock that elbow. Watch, lock that elbow. Watch him here. Again, butt to butt, bang, lock the elbow. Get skinny at the point of attack. Now we just go to the outside here, okay? Let a D tackle rush to 5 technique. He could do this for us because some of our defense will let him do that. He's just going to go inside out. Or inside out, and then come back inside and squeeze. And he's just going to power it. What we call the neon rod, and then power and pressure that thing down. Good job of the hands. Watch. Now we worked on our hands earlier in the drill tape, just working our hands, working our hands. Now, swipe him by. Take his weight, put it against himself, and then swipe him by. Get him and going in one direction. He knows if he continues to get upfield, he goes too far beyond 1.5 to 2 yards. He's too far up the field. He's going to create a pocket for the quarterback. We got to prevent that. So understand, right now, you got to come back inside on that. If you go too far up the field, it's not worth it. Now, sometimes you rattle them, and they think that you're going to give them a finesse move, and you go with a quick power move. Bang. There's a set. He's trying to cut off his angle. Now we got to get back to skinny. Pressure. Watch the right leg of the offensive guard. That's what we call a dead leg. They power hop on that thing. That's the dead leg right there. And then we attack that to give us inside presence. Now it goes with a counter move right here. Watch this. There. Good. Spike it. Still drop your butt down a little bit low. Solely outside move. Back. So you get him rattled. Now he's done this to him a couple times. He's given him one move one time, another move another time. Set him up. It's like a game. It's like a point guard on the basketball court. Don't go with the same move every time. Always get your beat. Now watch this get skinny. Now you saw us earlier in the tape do our hip flip drill on the barrel. This is what it equates to right here. You get a jump set by a center. And as he jump sets him, I get my hips skinny. So I'm half a man now. Because the jump set makes that offensive guard or offensive tackle or center get square up on you. And that's what they want. You got to find a way to get back to skinny. And that's what we do there. Now, sometimes again, they jump set you again, feel it, okay? Counter spin inside. If he's leaning like that, we should win that battle every time. There we go, rush the set point. Rush the set point. Beat him to that 4.5 yard mark. You're by his hip, hip by hip. Use your inside power hand and then rip by him. He can never do anything. He's out of his set. He's out of his set. And if he's hopping now and he's got to probably cross over run to ever catch it, and we beat him to that set point every time, I'll take that as a win. Now, again, same thing. Great job by the 3 technique here. Overset, takes his angle away, I'm going to come back inside. I know if I continue to go up the field, he's going to run me out of the trench. I'm not going to be anywhere near the quarterback. They're going to have a great pocket. It's going to be like Pat Skeleton in the summer where people sitting on the side drinking milk and Kool-Aid. All right? I'm not going to allow this to happen. Make the quarterback uncomfortable. Now some twist game here. Now keep the offense honest when you run it. Now they're sitting on the twist, sitting on the twist. Let that guy do what we call a sucker. Sell the twist and then go back outside. Work your 2-man stuff with your tackle, your end right there. Now you got the man side, it's perfect. When that 3 technique penetrates, he's going to go through the upfield shoulder of the guard into the hip of the tackle. If he feels the slam of the tackle, watch it here. Once he feels the slam of the tackle go down on him, he'll continue outside. This guy's going to have a track where he's up the field. You got to watch his demeanor though. I don't like where his eyes go. The end's eyes shouldn't be looking inside. We got to keep those eyes up the field. Constantly talk about stunt demeanor, stunt demeanor, stunt demeanor. All right? Don't show your eyes and tip your hat that we're running a stunt. Now you go with a stunt with an inside guy. Okay? Watch him engage the guard. You engage the guard, usually to this set right here, you're getting what we call a 2-way go by the end. But now in this case, I'm telling them to make the inside move. The inside guy has got to engage the guard to hold him off. Don't allow him to pass the game off. And then again, we talk about the cage. The inside tackle becomes an outside cage player, and the outside end becomes an inside cage player. Again, we got to talk. That end can widen out a little bit. Again, I like how he's rattling them, but just don't change your eyes. This shouldn't even been passed off. Hesitation. He got to power the gap. Now we screw up the exchange, and the looper becomes a guy that makes the sack. And watch him run the circle. Now you work your inside twist, call it, and let the tackle penetrate. That tackle could sell up the field a little bit more. Pick the hip of the center, get to the opposite inside number, okay? And if that's the track they're going to use to take care of us there, only thing is I don't like this nose guard stuttering. Probably should never stutter from a nose because they should know something's up. Now don't jump. Now you give him the false one on the jump. TJ's a savvy veteran. He's going to give him the false. I'm stunting, but I'm not stunting on the jump. And watch the rattle of the 3 technique here. Watch this. Oh, yeah, dead leg. Come back outside. Watch him go with that inside hand. We always talk about the neon rock. Keep the guy away from you. Shorten the guard or the tackle's reach by you beating him to the punch. Now, we go into our tight bag series here, okay? Tight bags, pumping the feet and hands. I'm going to put those bags pretty tight. That means it's going to be about 6 inches apart, maybe even tighter. I want them to pick their hands up, pick their feet up and move their hands. That's a pretty good rep right here. Only thing I don't like that he does right here, he gets little dead feet right there. But if you do this right, if you're moving your hands and your feet properly, you'll never trip over the bag. And always end on the finish there. And we'll talk about rush finish in a little bit. I don't care if they hop or if they get their feet, pitter-pattered on the ground. It's basically the whole objective is to have them work their hands and work their hands and move their feet at the same time. That's not really a good rep right there. Any of your kids you're showing this tape, make sure they don't see that rep. He got to get a little bit better. This guy's pretty good. Pretty good. Boom, pick it up, turn, and rush finish. Everything we do is rush finish to the quarterback. Probably a little bit lower on the finish, he could be there. Not a bad rep. More difficult than it looks, but once they get it down, it's pretty smooth. That's a true freshman right here. He's got a lot of athleticism, but he got no control of his body. We just got to work on that. And that's a big boy right there. That's a 300-pounder getting through those bags right there. Hands and feet, hands and feet, hands and feet. Now we're going to widen them out a little bit. Now I'm going to work on flipping hips. So important to the pass rush game that you flip your hips. If you're vertical, you just stay up the field. On the finish of that rush, you got to be able to flip your hips in order to get to the quarterback. You got to be able to flip your hips to get an edge on a guy. And again, in between, we're going to always work our hands. He's probably hopping a little bit too much there. There we go. Good. Open up. Good. Open up those hips. Not good enough. Got to open them up right better there. Good. Now, again, this is something I'm not going to do 100 miles an hour. More the activity is that I'm trying to emphasize opening up the hips. And again, never, ever having dead hands. Open them up. Open them up. Open them up. open him up. The thing I don't like that he did right there is he stopped his feet. You can't stop your feet. You got to transition from the flipping of your hips to getting back in position to get back to the quarterback. And if you stop your feet, the play's going to be over. That's not bad right there for a freshman. He's getting it down. You know, those older guys, you know, this is in our summer camp here, so those older guys had some time in the spring to perfect some of this stuff. But you got to just see progress. And what we do is we show the kids these tapes. And I coach it up off of there. It's just not a lip service that we just said we just filled the segment in practice just to do it. We want to make sure, all right, that I'm showing it to them so I can coach them up and refine their technique. Now we're gonna go here. Now we're just gonna go swat rip. Okay? I give him the command and swat rip and then clear the hips. Overemphasize bringing that hip. Now that's just when you just beat somebody vertically and you don't really have to turn the corner. You beat them to set point. Now you're just flipping those, ripping those hips by. Clear the hips. Again, it doesn't have to be a race. Some of these guys are going way too fast and they're missing the first objective of that drill, which is to do a swat. This is good right here. Swat, overemphasize it. Pull the hips through. If that hip is behind the bag, it's not good enough. Watch this. See, his hip's behind the bag. That's not where I want it. I want him to clear and pull that hip through. Pull it through. There you go. Pull it through. Pull it through. Good. Boom. Boom. Don't stop those feet. Quick hands. Same deal. Don't let the hands die. Don't let the hands die. Don't let the hands die. Too much of a wind up there. That's not what we're looking for. Too much of a wind up on the other guy. Now that's pretty good. Except he still should pull it. We got to get him to pull his hips through. Now again, in our pass rush section, we're doing the same thing. Same thing here. Now, instead of having the bags and a line, now I put them in a square. Okay, and I'm going to tell them all outside moves here. So they're going to flip their hips and they're going to go all outside moves. Kind of change it up for them so the drills don't get monotonous. But right there, I'm going to tell them to give an inside hesitation. So it's an in and out move. It's like a 3 technique with a 2-way go on the guard. Okay, give them an in and out move and then finish inside like that. Okay, same thing, coming off the ball. All outside moves, just making them do it in a short area as opposed to a long linear line. He's got to probably open up his hips a little bit better on that bag right there. And now this is what will happen here. Right there, we give him that in and out move. Now he's the defensive and give him that in and out move, okay? But what we talk to the guys about is the dead leg, okay? Promoting the dead leg on the offensive lineman. Just giving him a little stick where he puts his leg in the ground to brace himself for the bull rush, and then we work outside of him. Now again, I like how Jonell's coming off the ball here. Again, most of the time we would do this with a ball, but this is kind of an activity drill here, so I'm not real concerned with it. Most everything we're gonna do is with a ball, but right here in this case, I'm just gonna let them do this here. And I got my manager there, Big Sweat. It's like 20 degrees out, my man sweating. So, bang, same thing there. Comes off, inside out move, finish. Hands, good hands coming off the ball there. Good hands. Finishes the first quick swat, bang, inside out move, give him an inside out, finish. Run the hoop there. Good. Get back inside on that one, finish. We'll go to another thing right here. Now, okay, This is one of my favorite drills right here. I call this rush finish. So now what we're going to do is we're going to give him a bag in front of him. So you're going to give him an inside move. He starts with the inside move. Then I'm going to make him get outside, okay? And then when we do this here, we're going to, what we call that rush finish right there. So after we clear the hip of the offensive lineman, we're going to force ourselves to lean inside back after the quarterback, okay? Because the quarterback's going to step up. He's not going to just stand in the pocket and let you take a shot on him, okay? Rush finish. A little bit better, got to be a little bit better on the, one of the things right there, when his feet start chopping too much, he didn't clear it. You know, he's trying to work too hard to get around it. It should be done by clearing it, either opening up your hips or ripping by it. Now we put a trash can up there. So force him to open up his hips right there, right off the trash can. Back now in close quarters, got to make a decision in close quarters. Close quarters, got to make a move in close quarters. There, get back outside. Same deal here with him. Force him right there. Force him to open up the hips on the snap of the ball. Beat him off the jump right there. Flip those hips. Now get him back in close quarters. Bang, make a move. Come back outside, rush finish. Close quarters, bang, outside, rush finish. And he made a lot of plays this year swatting the ball, knocking the ball out, instead of just going for the sack. This guy I got to work on because he struggles. He's got a little shoulder problem there too, but he struggles with that right there. Not real fluent in his hips. Good inside out move. Again, initially off the jump, he's gonna open up his hips on the trash can and come out of there. So we give him a close open up your hips on the trash can, close quarters action when you're real close up on the bag, and then a flip outside to a rush finish. And I'll change these up every day. You know, sometimes we'll put the hand pads on. Sometimes we'll just make them go in and out real fast. Sometimes I'll put the bags real tight. The whole idea is that you got to work your hands and feet in order to get to the quarterback. You're never going to just make a sack just going straight. If you do, you're very, very lucky. Okay, this is our man keys section, all right? We're going to simplify what we do by breaking it down by schemes that the tackles face and the noses face and schemes that the ends face, all right? We don't do the same thing, so we'll work on different blocking schemes, and we simplify it to 1 to 3 different blocking schemes that they'll face and or in a particular week that they're going to face. So say, for instance, if a team doesn't run zone, then we don't really practice zone plays. Obviously, most of the teams run zone, but basically what I'm saying is that we're going to try to simplify this as much as possible so that we can maximize our repetition. In this case right here, I'm working on 3 technique play away, all right, and a combination block. Now you watch the tackle, he's got to do a little better job, the offensive tackle, of going to cut this guy off, but it's a non-padded practice. I'm very, very, very important that we attack the guard, okay? Attack the guard, and we get great hand placement. When we talk about hand placement, talk about shoulder plate and shoulder plate, okay? And shoulder, cuff, and chest plate, all right? Shoulder, cuff, and chest plate. It's very important that we do that. Attack, okay? And then run the trench. Very important that you don't allow that guy to run up the field. Because a lot of times what young guys will do is they'll run up the field thinking that the play will be made at the point where the running back gets the ball. You want to run to where he is going to be, not to where he is, where he's going to be. We want to run that trench. See, he's doing a good job there attacking. Now, again, the offense has got to be a little bit better pitcher there. But I'm going to give him a ball key, and we're going to run that trench and run down that line. Same thing here. Attack the guard, run the trench. You'll hear me talking to the guys all the time about running the trench. See how he's flat down that line? That's exactly where I want him to be. Don't run up the field. This is simulating the zone play, right? Don't run up the field. So now they're going to cut this because that ball's designed to wind back. We got a guy sitting there. But if you run up the field, we're going to be a gap short. Okay? We want to run that trench. They keep it front side. All right? They keep it front side, then we'll be right in the trench. We'll be right there to make that tackle. But one of the things, again, we can't do is run up the field and create what we talk about air. Now we're going to work some pull schemes, okay? I'm going to allow the offensive lineman to change the split and level. We're going to over-exaggerate it. It's probably never going to be that prevalent. If it is, we're going to have about 10 TFLs. But when that guard is pulling, we look for the splits and levels to change. So we tell our guys as an indicator to look for that split and level to change right there. As a general rule, he'll have this rule. If the center is on your hip, on your backside shoulder, you should backdoor that. If you get face-to-face with the center, you should then cross-face. That's the simple rule of that pull scheme. And this guy does a good job of getting skinny at the point of attack. Watch. Get skinny. Because he knows what's going to happen. If that scheme is pulling there, someone's got to be responsible to block him. Also, it's going to be a trap, and that's a whole different ballgame. Dang, these guys trying to get in the shade here and going up down near the mountain. Same thing here, though. Okay? Same thing. If he's on my backside shoulder or on my hip, obviously the center going to be a little better than what that guy's doing. But I just want him to get the read. And there's no false step. I'm telling them to read here, all right? But, you know, I'll change the drill on them. If I think they're overplaying the drill, then we'll go reach scheme to that. He does a great job here. Watch him get skinny at the point of attack. That's your power plays away. Now, the ends will work separately, okay, in our man key section. The ends will work separately here, okay? So in this case right here, we're working on a reduction. We do as much scheme work versus base as we do with movement. And it's very important that you work on schemes when you're moving, because you tell a guy, get into the B gap, get into the B gap. And what happens is you draw a picture of it. You draw the guy running into the B gap. That's awesome. Well, offensive people usually move when they're running a play, right? So for that reason, we work on these schemes versus movement. So right now, we're telling that guy to reduce into that B gap, and the play is going away from him. And again, they should run a trench. That backside 92, probably too much air. Got to use the line as a reference. Run down the line and run the trench. Now we're going two-gap movement here. You've seen us work this in the shoot. Okay? Hey, too much hopping right there. It's a shuffle, gather, step, and that prevents one of two things, the reason why we do it like this. One of two things. When you lead step crossover, you're always going to talk to the guy about not getting washed. By us keeping our shoulders square, one, you're able to read the gap faster, and two, you're able to get vertical when the play finally disperses. So this is why we do it this way. Some guys I know teach on two-gap movement, lead step crossover. I'm always concerned with lead step crossover that guy, you're always worried about that guy getting washed. Now in this case right here, now we're working another read form. Again, this is a movement, okay? This is a movement where that end is the near arm player. As a base rule, we go man on, near back, backside. So what we do is we give him a man on read, which is a veer release inside, then his eyes got to go to the near back. He's got to now know in his responsibility whether or not he's a spill player or a box player. In this case right here, he's going to be a box player. A lot of times when you talk to kids about being box players, they think they can be up the field. What happens is, in this picture, if 95 were to take that in, okay, and knock him out of what we call a crease, it's the same thing as if he had spilled that. So we got to do a great job of reducing the crease, reducing the area, and when that guy comes, we're going to box him. Now, if we're in a base situation, he would spill that and get under it. But this is part of our man key section. That is just not base stuff, because we do enough movement to complement what we do in a base situation. Okay, now, this is just 5 technique, play 2. Okay, we're at 5 technique. We're not to the open side. In this case, if there was a tight end there, he would have a 9 technique on him. So we would create a one-on-one block. They can't really team block that. They can block down on you. That's a whole nother section. They can block down on you, and then you get the down and wrap. That's a different story. But when you get in this just base block, that must-read situation where they're trying to create a vertical lane, you got to know how to attack that. So for intents and purposes of the drill, we attack it, and then what we do is we leverage it and convert our power hand. In a base situation, the power hand is going to start out as being the gap hand. Okay, that is going to attack the shoulder plate. Okay, and the shoulder cuff and the chest plate by the inside hand. So that'll be the down hand. The down hand will be on the chest plate, and the outside hand, which is the left hand in this case, in this picture, will be on the shoulder cuff. Now we're working again. We go to set the edge. We're involved in zone pressure. You got to work on it. You can't just tell the kid to drop and not give him a responsibility. So now he reads play away. He goes to set his feet because initially he'll set the edge, and then he becomes our fold player. So he becomes that linebacker depth. Okay, now, part of our rush finish drill is that we work on hands, okay? We're going to work on hands here, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get there with these big old pads right here, and you guys can use whatever you want to use, but we use these big old pads right here. I'm going to make this guy work his feet and hands at the same time, okay? He's going to work his feet and hands at the same time. Watch him here. Bang, bang. Okay, inside move, outside move, rush finish on the quarterback. Same thing on the hands, all right? Just again, hands and feet, hands and feet. You're getting into that, what we call a hand fight between you and the offensive lineman. Hands and feet, turn the edge. Give him a level of difficulty right there. So when he comes off that turn right there, all right, there could be an object in the way, then we get to the outside and then rush finish. Hands and feet. Good. Same thing, hands and feet. Gonna get their feet going. Bang, inside move. Great job here. Watch him flip his hips right here. Tremendous job right here. Flip your hips, bang, get outside, hit that outside move, and get to the quarterback. Now, you guys are, one of the things I want to explain about this rush finish deal is that most of the time, if not all the time, up front, your sacks are, you've pushed the pocket, you've got up the field, because we tell ourselves we're going to get out front, we're going to get up the field, and the quarterback's going to step up. We work the finish of that product. So at the end of the day, when that quarterback steps up, we want to be rush finishing toward him. And that's why we do finish all our drills as we come off that edge and rush finish. Again, now this is just our hand segment of it. You've seen before in the other drills, we kind of used an object, we kind of flipped our hips or quick bag, flip hips. Now I just want them working on their hands and feet. And this is part of our hand fighting section of practice. We'll also use those boxing gloves there. We'll use those. But I want them to, again, you get engaged with that offensive line. We got to do a great job of using your hands and moving your feet. Now, okay, we're just going to put the back. Now I'm just going to give them the stimulus with the arm, okay? They're going to flip on this thing. They're going to flip his hips right there. Now I'm going to give him another level of difficulty. There. As he gets around, rush finish. Come off the ball, we got cut, saw, watch it, inside hand, cut, saw, with the outside hand, saw that elbow, flip, flip, come around. Cut, saw, rush finish. Cut, saw. I love when they come out, and this is going to force him to watch his hands come out of this deal here. Watch his hand. Snap, boom, hands are moving, flip, there. Get inside. You got to do a little better on that rush finish there. God, get that off me. Bang, inside, outside. Always making them work angles, because the game of football, and when you rush a quarterback, can't just be vertical and straight. You got to give him a level of difficulty right there. There, outside, great job on the hip flip. Got to transition his feet a little bit better. Good. There, kept his feet going around it. There. inside out, flip. Good. Good. And that's pretty good right there. I like what he's doing. There, hands, always violent hands. In between the bags, preach the violent hands. Preach the hands moving. Constant movement of the hands. Beat the offensive lineman to the punch. Don't come out with dead hands. Now we're just gonna do our bag drill here, all right, where this is just an agile warm up. Again, 1 foot in the hole, 1 foot in the hole, and so on and so forth. The one thing we want to do again is just constantly work on hands and feet. And this is how we started off.